obviously humor can be a release, and laughter can be a huge release of tension. And we were in a place where we were tense around Quakers and needed that release. And I remember that we just started going back and forth describing memes about Quakerism to each other. And like that, we had, I don't know, 10, 15.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we could do something with this. We could share these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Sally Wiedenbeck. I use she or they pronouns. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I attend Laughing Waters Preparatory Meeting.
My name is Lucia Kalinosky. I use they, them pronouns, also live in Minneapolis, attend Laughing Waters, member of Bear Creek monthly meeting in Iowa yearly meeting conservative. And we are the co-clerks of the Memistry and Council Committee, which is on Instagram as @RSOF shitposting. The memes page came out of frustration and like needing a place to vent. We have both had some pretty frustrating, difficult, painful experiences among friends, and like we're still Quakers. Like we this is our spiritual home, and we didn't want to leave it, but we also needed to like criticize it in a pretty robust way.
So it's been really incredible to see that how many people relate, and that's been, I think, really powerful, at least for me, but I think for both of us, that we have created a community to an extent, and that people who see the memes feel less alone, which is really important. And that's, I think, the power of the internet in general, is being able to bring people together who are geographically separated. But it's also been really powerful to me and sort of validating for me to see that, yes, other young adults are struggling with these same issues in their meetings, and that these are struggles that we need to talk about so that we can try and find a way to work through them and try and recognize that we have these common struggles and that there's power in that.
Yeah. Since we've been asked kind of like, what is our mission? What we've kind of come up with is like talking about things that are taboo amongst friends. And that those things, so some of the things are sexual ethics, police and prison abolition, and more generally kind of like a systemic view of violence, which not all Quakers share, race and racism, gender, especially trans and non-binary issues, ableism, access. Those are all a lot of the things that one of the memes is, you can't talk about that, you'll stir the pot, and then a picture of someone stirring a giant pot. And it is like, it feels like the ministry at this point is to talk about stuff that we don't talk about, because that's what we are called to do, right? Like that's what continuing revelation is asking ourselves these questions, and discerning how do we, speak to the condition of the world.
One of our earliest memes was the "Is this a pigeon" meme, which is of somebody holding up their hand, looking at a butterfly and going, "Is this a pigeon?" And we had it so the person was labeled Quakers and the butterfly was labeled literally any emotion. And they're asking, "Is this anger?" And I think that speaks to even why we use memes, because expressing emotion in a place, especially among Quakers, where quietness and centeredness are valued, that can spill over into devaluing emotion, even though emotion is important and spiritual and creative and godly. But using humor to criticize, I think, disarms people a little bit. And so they're more willing to go, "Oh, that was funny." And then maybe 10 minutes, maybe 10 days, maybe a month later, they think about, somewhere in their brain, they're thinking about why that was funny. And it's funny because it connected with reality. It connected with something that somebody experienced.
I would just say, I think that the memes page, I think it's taken more bravery than I expected. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I think of myself as like kind of like a loudmouth joker man. But like this has definitely pushed me. Like there's been times where I've been like, we're gonna say what? We're gonna do what? Like we have to like this thing came up and we have to respond to it. Like ugh, like so there's definitely been like needing that kind of like courage support as well.
Thanks for watching this QuakerSpeak video. We release a new video every Thursday. You can watch all our videos in this playlist here. You can subscribe to our channel by clicking this button here. You can support us through our Patreon here. Thanks again for watching, and have a happy Thursday.